Today, we are diving deep into the incredible story of Abigail. She's a figure whose amazing wisdom and just sheer courage in a moment of crisis, well, it offers some lessons that are as relevant today as they were back then. And welcome back to the Think Strong Bible Study. It is so great to have you with us as we jump into another really fascinating character study. So let's just start with a big question, one that's really going to frame our entire conversation today. What does it actually mean to be truly wise when everything is falling apart? It's one thing to know stuff, but it is a whole other ballgame to apply that knowledge when the pressure is on. Okay, let's get into it. Our main guide for this study is going to be this fantastic mind map. Think of it as our roadmap. It lays out all the key details of Abigail's life and her story, and we're going to use it to walk through who she was, the insane crisis she faced, and the incredible wisdom she put on display. First things first, let's get to know our main character here. Abigail is really remembered for one thing above all else, her remarkable wisdom and prudence. She wasn't just some background figure in someone else's story. She was a woman whose intelligence literally changed the course of history. Now, what I find really interesting is how our source material breaks down her core traits. Yeah, she's described as beautiful, but that's not the point. The real emphasis is on her intelligence and her discernment. Her ability to see a situation for what it really is. And those qualities, they made her unbelievably valuable, and not just in her own house, but as we're about to see, to the future king of Israel. And boy, was that value about to be put to the ultimate test. See, every great story has that moment of intense conflict, and Abigail's is no exception. A huge crisis was brewing, one that was setting two very powerful, very stubborn men on an absolute collision course. And this slide just lays it out perfectly. On one side, you've got Abigail's husband, Nabal. His name literally means fool, and he lives up to it. He's harsh, ignorant, and he throws this massive insult at David and his men. But on the other side, you have David, a respected warrior, God's anointed king, and he is understandably furious. He's not just angry, he's planning bloody revenge. The tension here is just, wow, it's off the charts. So while her husband is completely oblivious to what he's done, Abigail's discernment just kicks right into high gear. She immediately gets it. She understands that Nabal's stupid insult wasn't just some minor mistake, it was a death sentence for her entire household. She saw the bigger picture and knew David was not someone you wanted to mess with. And this, right here, is where the story pivots. Instead of panicking, instead of despairing, Abigail takes control. We get to see her wisdom shift from just being a quality she has into decisive, strategic action. I mean, just look at this. It's like a masterclass in crisis management. She has this flawless four-step plan. First, she assesses the danger correctly. Second, she doesn't show up empty-handed. She prepares this huge, generous gift to calm David down. Third, she acts fast, intercepting him and his army on the road. And fourth, she uses her most powerful weapon, a wise, humble, and incredibly persuasive appeal. And that gift, it wasn't just a token gesture. We're talking bread, wine, sheep, raisins, figs. This was a substantial act of honor. It showed respect, and it was a clear admission that her husband was in the wrong. It totally set the stage for her to be able to speak to David's heart. So the big question is, did her strategy actually work? Oh, you better believe it. Abigail's intervention didn't just defuse the bomb, it completely transformed the entire situation, paving the way for peace and, pretty unexpectedly, a brand new future for her. And the result is just profound. David's heart is completely turned around. He doesn't just accept her gift, he literally thanks God for sending her. He realizes she saved him from making a terrible, terrible mistake, from committing an injustice that would have been a stain on his entire legacy. So she didn't just save her family, she saved David from himself. And just look at how fast her life changes after this one act of courage. About 10 days after she meets David, her foolish husband Nabal dies. When David hears the news, he doesn't wait. He immediately sends a proposal to Abigail because he recognizes her incredible wisdom and character, and she accepts and becomes his wife. Her story really comes full circle, doesn't it? She goes from being the wife of a fool who almost got everyone killed to being the wife of a king. And together, she and David have a son named Chileab, which secures her place in the royal family. Okay, so what's the big takeaway from all this? What do we do with this story? Well, Abigail's story is way more than just an interesting historical event. It's a powerful lesson in practical wisdom that we can actually use in our own lives. So here are the big ones.
We see the power of discernment, of seeing past the surface and understanding what's really going on. We learn how important it is to take quick, strategic action instead of just freezing up. We see how wise and humble words can de-escalate even the most heated situations. And finally, we see the incredible courage it takes to step in and be a peacemaker.
So as we close our study today, I want to leave you with these two questions to really think about. From everything we've talked about in Abigail's story, what's the one thing that really sticks out to you the most? And even more important, how can you apply her example of wisdom or her courage to a situation you might be facing in your own life?